Hi, my name is Lorena. I'm a spiritual life coach and a breathwork teacher, and I'm primarily focused on Neville Goddard's teachings. And I'm here to help you shift your state of being and recreate your reality. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can find information for that in the description box below. And if you like this video, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel so you'll get videos like this every week, and I'd love to have you. If you've watched last week's video all about persistence and how to persist in your assumption, if you haven't, I'll link it in the description box below, then you know that there is a fine line between persisting with conviction and pressuring yourself and forcing things and trying too hard. So today we're talking about allowing and receiving instead of forcing and pressuring and pushing real hard to make things happen. Because actually when you're pushing really hard and you're trying too hard, you're actually resisting a lot, and that can keep things from happening. And allowing things to unfold is really, it's almost an art. And it's such a beautiful thing to do, because when you do surrender and when you do relax, that's when things come through, usually really fast. So in this video, we'll talk about why you keep trying so hard and why you feel the need to take action. And we'll talk about how to open yourself up to allow, receive, and relax, so you can actually let things unfold naturally without forcing or pushing or trying to control or operating from fear. And I'll give you some very easy and practical tips on how to get into a state of allowing and opening yourself up to receive. And I think I'm going to keep the best and the easiest one for last today, so I suggest you stay until the end. Take it all in so you know what to do to chill the out. Let's start with why you feel the need to take action and try hard in the first place. And the reason I want to talk about this is because if you have an understanding for how your brain really works and why you may have a tendency to do that, you can have the compassion for yourself instead of beating yourself up for it. And you will actually have a practical way or an action plan on how to stop doing that. So usually there's 4 different reasons why people try too hard. Number 1, fear of failure. Sometimes when there's no indication in our reality that what we want exists, it can be so hard to keep the faith. Let's acknowledge that. It can be hard to keep the faith if we don't have any proof that it's possible, that it's going to work out, that what we want maybe exists. We don't know. It is really about faith. Faith in the unseen. And in this way, you just need to trust that because you want something, it has to exist. And it does. It really does. The only thing that's really standing in your way is you. And that is natural, because this fear of failure just acts as a protective mechanism, so you don't get hurt. Because if you don't take risk, you can't fail. And if you can't fail, then you can't get hurt. But unfortunately, if you don't take risks and you don't embrace this uncertainty, you also won't get what you want. The second point is more based on how we are conditioned in society, in our upbringing, in our world, essentially. There is really this conditioning to be productive all the time. And we also live in a patriarchal society, right? Our surroundings, maybe our culture even, maybe our parents, maybe the people around us, just keep telling us, even if that's in a subtle way, that we have to keep doing, that we have to work hard to be successful, that things don't come easy. So these beliefs can be very deep within you if you don't unpack them and unlearn what people tell you or teach you. If you, for example, feel guilty when you relax and receive and don't do anything, that's often an indication that that belief is somewhere within you, that you feel that you need to work hard or always do things to be successful. And that kind of brings me to the third point, which is the belief that things are hard and that we have to work hard and that things cannot come easy. That is also a belief that often runs really deep. Of course, if you believe that things are hard and difficult and that you have to do a lot and work really hard, you're not going to allow yourself to sit back and relax and receive and allow things to unfold, because you think if you do that, even if that's on an unconscious level, you won't get what you want. If that's your belief, you're not going to allow yourself to chill. So the way to go about this is really to, as simple as it is, assume that things can be easy, because essentially you're blocking yourself from receiving by not believing that it's possible for things to be easy. It's also often the case that your beliefs stem from past experience. So if you've always experienced things to be difficult or scarce or limited, you take that belief with you and you think you need to work really hard for things to change. And the fourth point, why people think they need to work really hard or take a lot of action, is unworthiness. The belief that for some reason you don't deserve what you want, you're not worthy of what you want, or you somehow need to prove yourself or your worth in order to receive it. That will hold you back too. Because if you don't believe that you're worthy of the things you want, then how can you allow them in? How can you be open to receiving them if you don't believe you deserve it? So these are the main reasons, in my perspective, why people feel the need to push and control and work really hard. But let's talk about how to go beyond that, how to stop working so hard, and how to get to a place where you're actually allowing yourself to receive. And these tips are going to be quite practical, so write them down. Get a journal and write them down. Number one, create safety for yourself. Often we don't open up to receive or to allow or to relax because we're fearful. So that is, for example, the case if we fear failure. And when we are fearful, that's because we don't feel safe. We don't feel held through it. So if you can find a way to create a safety net for yourself, be that through self-love, self-validation, shadow integration, a support network around you that inspires you and supports you and is there for you, then it will feel a lot safer to take the leap of faith and to open up your heart, to open yourself up to vulnerability, to step into uncertainty, because you know that if you were to fall, you would be held. So then opening yourself up to possibility and allowing yourself to relax becomes much easier. Number two, befriend your imagination. So by this I mean get out of the analytical mind and into the feeling state. Use your imagination as a fun tool to experience internally what you want to experience just for the sake of it feeling good. Use it as a fun tool you can create with rather than as something that is a chore or that you have to do for things to change. Because if it's the latter, it turns into work, it turns into effort, which is exactly what we don't want. We want to allow, we want to receive. Number three, take a break. So if you notice you're falling into the trap of trying really hard and putting in a lot of effort, just stop. Just stop for a moment. Your desire will not run away. You can take a break. You can distance yourself. You can distract yourself. If you're emotionally exhausted or mentally exhausted, that's not going to serve you. Just relax for a bit. Focus on something else. Focus on other manifestations if you want. Number four, change your perspective on your current circumstances. Start trusting the process. Start accepting that there's a bridge of incidents and that you don't need to be at the end right away. Start enjoying the journey instead of chasing goal after goal after goal. Because honestly, if you're not grateful for where you are and what you have, and if you always chase for the next thing and the next thing, then you can get your manifestations, but you won't actually appreciate them. You will just look for the next thing to work on. So you're not enjoying yourself. An example of this is really gratitude. Start focusing on the good that you have instead of always focusing on the problem. And if you are struggling to find things to be grateful for, it can be as simple as being grateful for being alive, being grateful for feeling all the emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, because you can feel, and that's a gift. Learn to be present instead of always chasing for the next thing and living in the future. Use your breath. Enjoy the present moment. And also, celebrate your progress. I bet you're a lot further than you were a while ago, even if that's just minimally, even if that's just in terms of your understanding. Celebrate every manifestation that comes, even the very small ones. Number five, surround yourself with role models. So what I mean by that is to surround yourself and spend time with people who inspire you, who maybe have the thing that you want, and who have been through the journey and who maybe don't have to lift a finger to get what they want. These people exist, And the more you surround yourself with people who inspire you and who show you what is possible, the more you can believe it's possible for you too. Number 6 comes back to what I touched on earlier, which is worthiness. So sit with what you feel deserving of and what you don't feel deserving of. The resistance to receiving and sitting back and allowing it to come is often just rooted in feelings of unworthiness, not believing that we deserve the thing that we want, not believing that we deserve it to be easy, somehow believing that we need to prove our worth and that's why we need to work hard and control. How can you feel more worthy? Is it maybe positive self-talk, mirror gazing or mirror work, saying affirmations to yourself? Is it meditation? Is it talking to friends and getting validation from them? Is it inner child work or shadow integration work? Is it self-love practices or self-concept practices? Sit with what makes you feel worthy and do more of that. And the last one, and I think we're at number 7, is practice receiving. If you're not allowing yourself to receive your biggest desires and to just relax and allow it to unfold naturally, allow it to come to you, then ask yourself how you are with receiving in general. How do you react when somebody compliments you? Do you accept compliments or do you usually reject them? How do you react when somebody gives you a gift or money or provides a service for you? Are you just thankful? Do you just take it on? Do you just receive it? Allow yourself to just have it and dwell in it? Or do you somehow feel guilty? Do you ask for help? Or do you try to do everything yourself? These are all things that I want you to practice, because the more you get comfortable with receiving in your day-to-day life, the more you accept compliments and gifts and services, the more you accept help and money and pleasure, the more you are also able to accept what you really want. Start small and then go big. I would love to know if any of these practices or tools I just mentioned really resonate with you, and if so, which ones you're going to implement going forward. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what resonated with you the most. If you have any topic recommendations, as always, let me know about them as well. I will do my best to accommodate. Next week, we're going to talk about common mistakes when manifesting, essentially some reasons why you may not have your desire yet, especially if you've been at this for quite a long time. And I'll let you know how you can let those things go and step into what you want. So don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time, and I'll see you then. So much love.